What is love, truly? Perhaps it is not a thing at all, but a space. A quiet, invisible space that expands inside you, reshaping the way you breathe, the way you think, the way you feel. It is both simple and infinitely complex, a gentle pulse beneath your consciousness, a question without a final answer, yet one that colors every corner of your life. Psychologists tell us that love can be studied, measured, observed, but the mind, for all its brilliance, can only capture fragments. It is a dance of neurons, of hormones, of memories, and yet it is more than all these. It is the pause between your heartbeat and your thoughts. It is the longing in your chest when someone is near, the emptiness when they are gone. Imagine the moment you notice someone, not just their face, but the subtle sway of their presence. Your mind catalogs, interprets, remembers. Your body responds. Dopamine whispers through your veins, a quiet exhilaration. Oxytocin blooms slowly, binding you in invisible threads of attachment. These are the mechanics, the gentle gears turning behind the curtain of experience. And yet, you feel more than chemicals. You feel a story beginning, a resonance that might stretch across lifetimes. Love is the paradox of knowing and unknowing. You understand it in patterns, yet it escapes definition. You see it in shared laughter, in a hand held quietly, in a glance that lingers just a moment too long. You sense it in absence, in the echo of memory, in the way a song can hold someone's smile long after they have gone. And perhaps, the greatest truth of love is that it is not only outward, it begins within you, in the tender recognition of your own heart, in the quiet acceptance of your own fragility and strength. To study love is to study yourself reflected in another, to see the intricate tapestry of longing, joy, fear, hope, and tenderness that threads through the human experience. So tonight, as you drift towards sleep, imagine love not as a solution or a goal, but as a companion. It hums softly beneath the surface of thought. It bends time in ways you cannot name. It is the invisible rhythm that stitches moments together, the quiet miracle that reminds you that being alive is always intertwined with being open to feeling. Love is many things. It is the question, the answer, the pause, and the sigh. It is the space you inhabit between waking and dreaming. And in that space, perhaps, you begin to understand it not fully, not finally, but in just enough measure to carry its gentle warmth into the night. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the science of falling in love. Falling in love is a quiet revolution within you. It is both instantaneous and gradual, like the first light of dawn spilling across a room you did not know was empty. Science may try to name it, to map it, to define it with neurons and hormones, but the truth is felt long before it is understood. It is in the flutter of your chest, the quickened pulse, the endless loop of thoughts that drift towards someone else, even when you try to focus elsewhere. Your brain, ever the meticulous architect, orchestrates this mysterious symphony with precision. Dopamine surges, painting every glance, every touch, with luminous intensity. Oxytocin, the so-called bonding hormone, weaves invisible threads of attachment, drawing two hearts closer, even across distance and silence. And yet, these chemical dances are only half the story. You cannot reduce love to molecules, because love is also the quiet interpretation of a shared smile, the unspoken recognition that someone else sees you, and that recognition, in itself, can feel like sunlight breaking through a storm. Psychologists have discovered patterns, tendencies, common trajectories. Falling in love often begins with attraction, that ineffable sense that someone belongs, not because of logic, but because your mind and body respond as if it were inevitable. Proximity, familiarity, shared laughter, the echo of similar dreams all act as subtle architects of connection. But the heart, so often, is the final authority, choosing in ways that defy reason, weaving together threads of memory, hope, and desire into a tapestry only you can perceive. It is paradoxical. Falling in love can feel effortless, yet it is intensely deliberate. You notice nuances in the way someone speaks, the tilt of their head, the warmth in their eyes. You find yourself imagining futures, crafting little mental stories that intertwine their presence with your own. And in that imagining, the science of love becomes poetry. Chemical signals translate into longing, cognitive patterns become desire, and suddenly, the world tilts, just slightly, to accommodate this new gravity. And perhaps the most extraordinary element is that it is always unpredictable. You cannot force it, yet you cannot always resist it. You cannot schedule it, yet it arrives at precisely the right moment, when your mind is ready to perceive the subtle invitation of connection. It is a gentle, quiet revolution, one that unfolds across weeks, months, moments, and seconds, transforming ordinary life into a subtle landscape of wonder. So as you close your eyes tonight, let yourself drift into this science, not merely the facts, but the experience. Feel the surge, the pull, the tender nervousness that arises when the world seems to tilt towards someone else. Falling in love is both chemistry and mystery, biology and poetry. A silent, profound awakening that reminds you of what it is to be alive, fully present, and tenderly human. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the role of oxytocin and dopamine in love. Within the quiet architecture of your mind, love hums in chemical symphonies. Two molecules, oxytocin and dopamine, move with a subtle insistence, shaping the rhythm of your heart and the pattern of your thoughts. They are invisible companions, guiding the dance of attraction, attachment, and longing. Yet they are only part of the story, a biological foundation for something that feels infinitely more delicate, more profound. Dopamine, often called the pleasure molecule, sparks excitement and anticipation. It is the flutter you feel in your chest when their name crosses your mind. It is the little rush when a message arrives, the warm glow when their laughter reaches you across space. Dopamine rewards you for noticing, for seeking, for longing. It creates the magnetic pull, the gentle obsession that can feel like gravity itself bending towards someone else. In falling in love, dopamine is the composer of desire, the whisper in your nervous system that someone matters. Then there is oxytocin, sometimes called the bonding hormone. It blooms more quietly, often in the aftermath of closeness, touch, or shared intimacy. Oxytocin is the molecule of connection, the thread that links hearts and minds in invisible ways. It is why a hand held in silence can feel like home, why a shared moment of vulnerability resonates long after words fade. Oxytocin teaches your body and mind to linger, to care, to remain tethered, even when the world offers distractions or uncertainty. Together, dopamine and oxytocin create the illusion of effortless magic. Yet they are precise, measurable, scientific. They explain why love can feel like a rush and a calm at once, both exhilarating and grounding. You may notice it in yourself, the spike of excitement when they appear, the sense of security when they are near. And yet, for all their chemistry, the fullness of love is never merely chemical. It is a living conversation between your body, your mind, and your heart, a delicate balance of biology and perception, of instinct and imagination. Perhaps the most beautiful element is that these molecules remind us of love's dual nature. It is both exhilarating and sustaining, fleeting and enduring. Dopamine pulls you toward newness. Oxytocin roots you in familiarity. Together, they choreograph a subtle dance of discovery and attachment, shaping how you give, receive, and understand affection. As you drift into sleep tonight, imagine this dance happening quietly within you, a rhythm unseen but profoundly felt. The molecules hum softly, guiding you toward connection, toward closeness, toward wonder. And in that quiet hum, you sense that love is not just something that happens. It is something alive within you, as tender, as transformative, and as mysterious as your own heartbeat. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, attachment styles and how they shape relationships. Love does not exist in isolation. It is shaped, often quietly, by the earliest experiences. We carry the echoes of care, attention, and absence that linger in our hearts long before we even recognize them. Psychologists call these patterns attachment styles, and they are the invisible architecture guiding how we connect. how we trust, how we yearn, and how we sometimes hold ourselves at a distance from the very closeness we seek. There are threads you may recognize: the secure, the anxious, the avoidant, and the complex weave of combinations in between. A secure attachment is like a gentle tide, ebbing and flowing with trust, comfort, and ease. Those who carry it tend to feel confident in intimacy, able to give and receive affection without fear of abandonment or intrusion. Their hearts have learned that closeness can be safe, that vulnerability need not be dangerous. Anxious attachment, by contrast, hums with intensity. It is a longing that pulses beneath the surface, a quiet fear that love could disappear at any moment. You may notice it in yourself. A heightened awareness of signals, the need for reassurance, the tendency to overinterpret absence as neglect. And yet, within that longing is a depth of care, a capacity for devotion that, when tempered with awareness, can create profound connection. Avoidant attachment moves differently. It is a heart that craves closeness, yet fears it, a tendency to pull away when intimacy feels overwhelming. You may notice a hesitation, a subtle retreat when someone draws near, not out of dislike, but out of a protective instinct. And in this careful dance, there is a quiet wisdom, a mind attuned to independence, a caution shaped by experience, yet always yearning for balance between freedom and connection. These styles, often invisible to the conscious mind, ripple through every gesture, every hesitation, every embrace. They shape how you respond to love's invitations, how you interpret absence, how you offer forgiveness and expect it in return. Yet they are not destiny. Awareness softens the patterns, allows growth, and opens doors to deeper understanding. When you recognize your own style, when you see it mirrored in another, you can navigate the landscape of love with compassion, curiosity, and grace. Tonight, as you settle into the gentle cadence of sleep, imagine these attachment threads as soft lines of light, tracing the contours of your heart. Observe them without judgment, acknowledging the ways they guide you and the ways they can evolve. Love is not merely the union of two hearts. It is a reflection of all the bonds you have known, all the care you have received, and all the care you are capable of giving. In this quiet reflection, your mind drifts, and your heart begins to understand itself a little more tenderly, a little more fully, as you fall into rest. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: love languages, understanding how we give and receive love. Love speaks in many tongues, subtle dialects written not in words, but in gestures, attention, and presence. The psychologist Gary Chapman called these dialects love languages, and they reveal the ways in which we give and receive affection, the hidden codes that make us feel understood, valued, and safe. To know them is to glimpse the secret architecture of the heart. Some hearts are nourished by words, gentle affirmations whispered or written, the soft echo of praise or gratitude. To hear "I see you" or "I am proud of you" can feel like sunlight warming a frozen morning. For others, it is through touch, holding hands, a brush of skin, a shoulder to lean on, that love becomes tangible, a rhythm felt deep beneath the mind, a language older than speech itself. Then there are those whose hearts are moved through acts of service. A quiet gesture, unnoticed by the world, carries meaning beyond measure. Preparing a cup of tea, listening without interruption, tending to needs before they are voiced. Here, love is lived, not said. A tender choreography of care that whispers, "I am here with you." Others feel most fully through gifts, tangible tokens that carry intention and remembrance. Each object infused with the memory and thought of the giver, a small vessel for affection and presence. And some hearts are nourished by time itself, the shared moments, the undivided attention, the silent company of two people inhabiting the same space. Here, love is not measured in words or objects, but in presence, the quiet intimacy of being together without distraction or demand. The beauty of understanding love languages is that it opens pathways. You may realize that your gestures, though well-intentioned, are received differently by another. Perhaps your words of affirmation fall like petals on stone, or your touch, however gentle, is unseen. When you learn the languages of those you love, you become fluent in their heart's own rhythm. And when you learn your own language, you honor the ways you are nourished and the ways you yearn to be known. Tonight, as you drift toward sleep, imagine love as a quiet symphony of many voices, each tone tender, each note distinct, yet all harmonizing in the heart. See yourself listening, observing, learning. Allow your awareness to drift through the languages you give and the languages you receive, softening the mind, calming the chest, opening you to understanding. Love is not a puzzle to be solved, but a living conversation, one that stretches across gestures, whispers, touches, and moments, inviting you to know and be known, fully, deeply, and quietly, as sleep envelops you. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the psychology of first impressions in love. First impressions are like the first brushstrokes on a blank canvas, subtle, fleeting, yet capable of shaping the entire portrait that follows. In the quiet theater of your mind, they arrive instantly, before words are spoken, before gestures are interpreted, a silent dialogue of perception, intuition, and instinct. The way someone moves, the tilt of their head, the cadence of their voice, even the expression that lingers in their eyes, all whisper a story that your heart begins to read before you even realize. Psychologists tell us that the human brain is a rapid assessor, an unspoken judge of trust, warmth, and compatibility. In a fraction of a second, it catalogs signals, forming impressions that are both conscious and unconscious. Yet, these impressions are not purely rational. They are interwoven with memory, desire, cultural cues, and the unspoken language of attraction. You may notice it yourself, a subtle resonance, a flutter, a sense of recognition, as if you have glimpsed something familiar, even in a stranger. First impressions are paradoxical. They are fragile, yet they carry weight. They can open a heart or close it, tilt curiosity toward intimacy, or spark hesitation and caution. And while they are powerful, they are not infallible. Behind the initial spark, there is a depth of complexity that first glimpses cannot capture: the quiet patterns of thought, the tender vulnerabilities, the inner rhythms that reveal themselves only over time. Yet, the importance of first impressions is undeniable. They set a tone, a rhythm, a narrative in which subsequent moments are interpreted. A smile can linger in memory, a gentle word can echo in thought, and a simple gesture of attention can create a resonance that draws two hearts closer. Our perception is an intricate dance between what is seen and what is felt, and often it is the feeling that endures long after the visual fades. Tonight, as you begin to drift into the softness of sleep, imagine the subtle impressions you leave and those you receive. See them as threads of light, delicate and fleeting, yet capable of shaping the way hearts meet. Reflect on the gentle truth that while first impressions may guide us, they are only the beginning of understanding, only the doorway to deeper connection. And in the quiet awareness of this dance, let your mind soften, your chest ease, and your heart open, surrendering to the gentle, unfolding mystery of love that sleeps beside you, waiting, patient, and infinite. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: why we are attracted to certain people. Attraction is a quiet, mysterious current that pulls you towards some and not others. A gentle gravity woven from biology, experience, and something you cannot name. You may notice it before thought, before logic, before words even form, a glance that lingers too long, a presence that resonates deep within your chest. But why do some souls spark your heart while others drift like shadows in the background? Science offers answers, and yet they are only part of the story. Biology whispers in the language of pheromones and hormones, subtle signals that say, here is someone compatible, someone whose presence will stir your heart. Eyes, voice, posture, even scent carry information that your mind interprets before you are aware. Dopamine sparks curiosity. Oxytocin quietly threads the possibility of attachment. And still, there is more: a tapestry of memory, culture, and intuition, each thread shaping the contours of desire. Yet attraction is not only chemistry, it is a mirror. You are drawn to qualities that reflect parts of yourself you admire, desire, or sometimes long to heal. Perhaps it is kindness, strength, humor, or vulnerability. Perhaps it is a resonance of experience, the echo of someone who understands the rhythm of your own journey. You do not simply choose whom you are drawn to. Your unconscious mind, your heart, your very history, all conspire to guide you, quietly, insistently, toward connection. And paradoxically, attraction is also mysterious, defying clear rules or logic. You may find yourself captivated by contradictions, a fiery temperament that challenges you, a quiet serenity that soothes you, a glance that awakens long-forgotten memories. There is a poetry to it, a recognition that the heart notices before the mind can comprehend. Tonight, as your eyelids grow heavy, allow yourself to drift into the gentle currents of attraction. Reflect on the invisible forces that draw you, the patterns that whisper in your veins, the subtle signals that spark connection. Know that these attractions are not merely accidents, nor entirely choices. They are part of the quiet architecture of your mind and heart, a dance between biology, experience, and longing. In this calm reflection, you sense a larger truth, that being drawn to another is a tender invitation to explore not only them, but yourself. The heart is guided by curiosity, resonance, and quiet instinct. Let this awareness ease into sleep, softening thought, opening your mind, and allowing your dreams to wander freely into the subtle, intricate, and profoundly human mystery of attraction. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the role of childhood experiences in adult relationships. The roots of love often stretch deeper than the moments we consciously remember. They wind through the years of early life, through quiet observations, tender gestures, and absences, felt before language could name them. Childhood experiences leave invisible imprints on the heart, shaping how we trust, how we seek closeness, and how we interpret the delicate signals of connection in adulthood. Perhaps you notice patterns in your relationships that seem both familiar and unavoidable. The way you hesitate, the way you cling, the way you interpret a silence as rejection or a glance as affection all echo whispers from the earliest bonds you formed. Secure and nurturing experiences teach that love is safe, predictable, and sustaining. In such hearts, intimacy blooms naturally. Vulnerability flows with gentle ease, and trust rests like a quiet foundation beneath every encounter. Yet, when love in early life is tangled with inconsistency, neglect, or absence, the heart learns lessons differently. Anxieties arise, attachments twist, and the desire for closeness can mingle with fear of abandonment. Avoidance may become a shield, and longing a persistent shadow. These echoes are not curses, they are traces of adaptation, strategies that once protected and now guide us in subtler ways, often unconsciously. But awareness brings tenderness. By noticing these patterns, you can begin to disentangle the echoes of the past from the reality of the present. You can learn to respond, rather than react, to love. You can soften the edges of fear, and open to the quiet trust that life, and others, can offer. Each relationship becomes a mirror, reflecting both the heart you carry and the one you are capable of nurturing. Tonight, as your body relaxes into sleep, imagine yourself walking through the corridors of your earliest memories. Observe them gently, without judgment. See the ways they have shaped your responses, the ways they have protected you, the ways they have taught you resilience. Then imagine laying those echoes down, softly, like a gentle breath. Allow the present moment to bloom in their place, free from fear, open to connection, open to love. Love, in this quiet reflection, is not only between people, it is a continuum, flowing from childhood to adulthood, from experience to awareness, from self to other. It is the tender recognition that every bond, every touch, every absence and presence has contributed to the heart you carry tonight. And in that awareness, as you drift further into sleep, you are cradled by understanding, by memory, by possibility, and by the quiet promise of connection yet to come. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: emotional intimacy versus physical intimacy. Love unfolds in layers, some visible, some hidden beneath the surface, where words are scarce and feelings speak with a subtle, persistent voice. Among these layers, two forms of closeness often intertwine: emotional intimacy and physical intimacy. Though they can coexist, they are distinct, each carrying its own rhythm, its own language, its own quiet power. Emotional intimacy is the silent recognition of another's inner world. It is the trust that allows vulnerability to unfold without fear, the safety to share thoughts that tremble at the edges of consciousness. It is not merely talking. It is being seen, being understood, being mirrored in a way that resonates with your own heart. Emotional intimacy can occur across distances through letters, glances, laughter, and pauses that linger just long enough to remind you that someone else is present in the same unseen current of life. Physical intimacy, on the other hand, speaks through the body. It is the warmth of a hand held, the gentle brush of lips, the quiet press of presence. It carries an immediacy, a chemical response, a rhythm that bridges the senses with the mind and heart. Yet without emotional intimacy, physical closeness can sometimes feel empty, a dance of bodies without the resonance of understanding. And without physical intimacy, emotional closeness may feel ethereal, beautiful, but incomplete, a warmth that cannot fully anchor itself in touch. The interplay between these two forms of intimacy is subtle and profound. Emotional connection can deepen physical desire, creating a sense of safety and trust that allows closeness to bloom fully. Physical touch can reinforce emotional bonds, releasing oxytocin, the hormone of attachment, quietly threading hearts together. They are companions, partners in the dance of human connection, each enhancing the other when present in balance, each vulnerable to misunderstanding when neglected. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, allow yourself to explore these layers quietly in thought. Reflect on moments of closeness you have known, both in words and in touch. Feel the warmth of emotional resonance, the comfort of understanding, the gentle energy of presence. Notice how these forms of intimacy interact, how they complement, how they sometimes diverge, and let your mind rest in the awareness that intimacy is not a single act or gesture, but a spectrum, a rhythm, a gentle unfolding of hearts, learning to meet and hold one another across space, time, and understanding. In this quiet reflection, your heart softens. You recognize that closeness, in all its forms, is a tender invitation, an ongoing conversation, a lullaby of connection that eases the mind, soothes the chest, and allows sleep to carry you into the calm embrace of love's many dimensions. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: how vulnerability builds strong bonds. There is a quiet courage in vulnerability, a gentle bravery that unfolds not in grand gestures, but in the subtle act of showing your true self. To be vulnerable is to lower the shields that have guarded your heart, to allow another to see the soft edges, the hidden fears, and the tender desires that reside within. It is a whisper of trust, a fragile offering, and yet it is the soil in which the deepest connections grow. When you share your inner world, the doubts that linger, the dreams that flutter quietly at the edges of thought, you invite another to meet you not only in comfort, but in truth. Vulnerability does not demand reciprocity, yet it often elicits it, weaving a delicate thread between hearts that strengthens with each honest exchange. It is the silent handshake of empathy, the quiet recognition that someone else can hold your complexity without judgment. In relationships, vulnerability is paradoxical. To open oneself is to risk discomfort, rejection, or misunderstanding. And yet, those who embrace it discover a depth of intimacy that is otherwise impossible. It is the key that unlocks emotional resonance, allowing bonds to move beyond superficial connection into something profoundly sustaining. In moments of shared uncertainty, confessions whispered in trust, and fears gently revealed, hearts align in ways that words alone cannot achieve. This courage often begins quietly, in small acts. A pause before speaking your truth, a gentle admission of need, a soft expression of longing. Each act builds upon the last, layering trust, deepening understanding, and creating a space where love can settle comfortably without fear. Over time, these small gestures accumulate into a bond that is resilient, tender, and enduring, a bond that knows the weight of honesty and the warmth of mutual care. Tonight, As your mind drifts towards sleep, imagine the gentle unfolding of vulnerability within yourself. See it not as weakness, but as strength, the bridge between hearts, the quiet pulse that allows intimacy to deepen. Reflect on moments when you have dared to be seen, when your own heart reached outward in trust, and feel the subtle, enduring impact of that choice. Vulnerability is the quiet rhythm of connection. It is the tender pulse beneath words, the soft bridge that joins lives, and the silent song of courage whispered between souls. Allow this reflection to settle in your chest as you rest, to ease the mind and open the heart. In sleep, it continues its work, weaving bonds, nurturing empathy, and preparing you for the gentle grace of deeper, more authentic love tomorrow. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the psychology of trust in love. Trust is the quiet architecture of love, a foundation that often goes unnoticed until it is shaken. It is not built in a single moment, nor does it arrive fully formed. Rather, it grows slowly, delicately, through repeated acts of reliability, honesty, and presence. To trust another is to place fragments of your heart in their hands, to believe that they will honor the fragile threads that bind you together, even when life grows uncertain. Psychologists describe trust as both a cognitive and emotional phenomenon. You assess it consciously, through evidence, patterns, and behavior. Yet you also feel it deeply, in the rhythm of your heartbeat, in the ease of your breathing, in the subtle relaxation that comes when you sense that someone is safe to approach. It is the invisible thread that allows vulnerability to exist without fear, the silent contract between two souls that promises understanding, patience, and care. Trust is paradoxical. It is fragile and resilient, simple yet intricate. One moment of honesty can reinforce it, another of deceit can unravel it like a fine thread. And still, the decision to trust is not only about the other. It is about your own willingness to risk, to hope, and to believe that connection is possible. In love, trust is an act of courage, a gentle surrender to the unknown, and a recognition that intimacy flourishes when fear is softened by confidence. In every relationship, trust manifests in countless ways. It is in the consistency of small gestures, the keeping of promises, the acknowledgement of mistakes. It is in the quiet patience that allows space for growth, the empathy that recognizes imperfection, the forgiveness that heals the inevitable cracks in human connection. Trust transforms ordinary interactions into a sacred rhythm of reliability, presence, and mutual care. Tonight, as your thoughts slow and your body relaxes, allow yourself to feel the subtle warmth of trust, both given and received. Reflect on the times someone held your heart with gentle care, the moments when honesty bridged distance, the quiet assurances that comforted you without words. Let this reflection wash over you like a soft tide, easing tension, calming the mind, and reminding you that love, at its deepest, is built upon the tender certainty that you are seen, respected, and held. Trust is the silent pulse beneath intimacy, the invisible current that sustains connection, and the quiet song that whispers, "You are safe to be known." Let this knowledge cradle you into sleep, nurturing both the heart and the mind, so that in dreams, you continue to experience the profound, gentle power of love's most enduring bond. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, why we crave emotional validation. Deep within the heart lies a quiet longing, a yearning to be seen, to be heard, to be understood. Emotional validation is the gentle acknowledgement that our feelings matter, that our inner experiences are recognized and held without judgment. It is not praise, nor agreement, but the tender recognition that we exist in full complexity, and that someone else honors that reality. From the earliest moments of life, humans learn that connection is sustained through acknowledgement. A caregiver who responds to a cry, who notices a subtle gesture, who meets emotion with attention, teaches the heart that it is safe to feel. Without such validation, the mind learns to doubt its own significance, the body to question its own rhythm. In adulthood, this longing persists, quietly guiding whom we choose, how we respond, and the patterns we form in love. Emotional validation nourishes trust, intimacy, and belonging. It allows hearts to soften, fears to release, and vulnerability to emerge without hesitation. When someone listens, really listens, when they recognize your joy, your sorrow, your doubt, without minimizing or dismissing, a profound connection forms. You feel mirrored, not through reflection of your actions, but through recognition of your inner world. It is a quiet affirmation of worth, a gentle reassurance that you may exist fully, without apology, without concealment. Yet, craving validation can also create tension when it becomes a need for survival rather than a natural desire. Seeking acknowledgement too insistently may push others away or leave the heart dependent on external affirmation. Awareness allows balance to recognize your own feelings as legitimate while appreciating the resonance of another. In love, emotional validation is both given and received, a dance between self-recognition and shared recognition, a rhythm of empathy that threads two hearts together. Tonight, as you drift toward sleep, imagine the subtle ways your emotions have been recognized and the moments when recognition was absent. Feel the gentle comfort that comes from being truly seen, and acknowledge the power within yourself to validate your own experiences. Reflect on the soft currents of empathy and attention that flow through relationships, quiet yet profound, shaping the ways hearts meet, linger, and trust. Emotional validation is not simply acknowledgement. It is a quiet embrace of the soul, a tender affirmation of existence, and a gentle reminder that to be fully human is to feel, to hope, and to be held in the silent understanding of another. Let this thought settle in your chest as you rest, a soft lullaby for your heart, carrying you deeper into the stillness of sleep and the tender mystery of connection. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the science of long-distance love. Love, though often measured in proximity, does not always abide by distance. There are connections that stretch across cities, countries, even oceans, and yet remain tender, alive, and profoundly affecting. Long-distance love is a curious paradox. It demands absence, yet thrives on presence. It tests patience, yet strengthens resilience. And science reveals why the heart continues to reach across space, defying the limitations of geography. Psychologists note that long-distance relationships often heighten certain aspects of emotional intimacy. With physical touch limited, communication deepens in nuance, attention sharpens, and vulnerability becomes more deliberate. Words carry more weight, pauses more meaning, and every shared moment, no matter how brief or virtual, resonates with amplified significance. The mind, seeking connection, focuses on the essence of the other, distilling presence into memory, imagination, and anticipation. Hormones play their part too. Dopamine surges with every message, every call, every fleeting glimpse that bridges the gap. Oxytocin threads attachment, even across distance, reinforcing a sense of connection that defies absence. And while the heart may ache in longing, that very ache deepens appreciation, fostering gratitude for the rare and treasured moments of closeness. Yet long-distance love is not simply a test of chemistry. It is a reflection of patience, trust, and intentionality. It invites partners to cultivate self-reliance while maintaining interdependence, to grow individually while nurturing the bond. Distance reveals the depth of commitment, the subtle rhythms of compatibility, and the enduring power of shared values and dreams. Tonight, as sleep draws near, allow your mind to wander across invisible bridges of connection. Imagine the quiet intimacy carried in letters, in whispered voices over a line, in memories of shared laughter. Feel the subtle pulse of longing and hope, and the delicate reassurance that love can endure even when bodies are apart. Let this reflection soften the chest, ease the mind, and remind you that presence is not only physical, it is a resonance of heart, mind, and memory. Long-distance love teaches a tender truth: that love is not confined by proximity, and that absence can deepen presence. In the stillness of night, allow yourself to rest in this rhythm, letting the subtle warmth of connection, hope, and understanding lull you gently into the quiet, restorative embrace of sleep. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: how empathy strengthens relationships. Empathy is the quiet bridge between hearts, the tender ability to feel alongside another, to sense their joys, their sorrows, their subtle shifts in mood and intention. It is not simply imagining another's experience. It is a gentle immersion into the texture of their inner world, a soft alignment of perception that allows connection to flow without obstruction. In relationships, empathy is the thread that binds, the rhythm that sustains intimacy, and the balm that soothes inevitable misunderstandings. When you approach another with empathy, you open a space where vulnerability can exist safely. You listen not only with ears, but with heart. You recognize pain without judgment, celebrate joy without envy, and acknowledge the unspoken longings that drift quietly beneath words. In doing so, you mirror the soul, showing another that they are not alone, that their inner life is seen and honored. This gentle act fosters trust, nurtures closeness, and deepens emotional resonance. Empathy is also profoundly reciprocal. When both partners engage in this delicate exchange, each attuned to the other's needs and states, a powerful rhythm emerges. Conflicts soften, misunderstandings dissipate, and connection becomes a dance rather than a struggle. Empathy allows for patience when words fail, for forgiveness when mistakes occur, and for celebration when life unfolds in its ordinary beauty. It transforms ordinary interactions into sacred exchanges, subtle yet profoundly impactful. Psychologically, empathy strengthens bonds by fostering emotional regulation, mutual understanding, and shared meaning. When the heart perceives the nuances of another, it releases oxytocin, deepening attachment. When the mind reflects the intentions and emotions of another accurately, trust blooms. In this way, empathy is both a gift and a skill, a practice that can be cultivated, refined, and offered intentionally to nurture enduring love. Tonight, as you settle into the calm embrace of sleep, allow yourself to reflect on moments of empathy you have given or received. Feel the soft resonance of understanding, the quiet affirmation of being heard, and the gentle warmth that arises when hearts truly meet. Let your chest relax, your mind soften, and your awareness expand to include not only yourself but the tender currents of others, emotions flowing beside you. Empathy is the silent pulse beneath connection, the invisible hand that steadies love, and the gentle whisper that says, "I see you, and you are not alone." As sleep carries you further into stillness, let this truth cradle your heart, nurturing tenderness, openness, and the quiet, sustaining magic of human connection. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, understanding emotional availability. Emotional availability is the quiet openness of a heart, the willingness to show up fully, to feel deeply, and to engage with the complexities of connection. It is not a guarantee of perfection, but a readiness to be present, to navigate vulnerability, and to allow another to inhabit the intimate spaces of your inner world. When hearts are emotionally available, love flows with a subtle ease, resonating like a calm tide that rises and falls in gentle rhythm. Those who are emotionally available can communicate desires, fears, and needs without defensiveness. They allow intimacy to deepen without retreating, and they receive vulnerability without judgment. Emotional availability does not erase imperfection. It simply creates a safe harbor where imperfection can exist, be acknowledged, and even celebrated. In contrast, emotional unavailability, guarded hearts, avoidance, or fear of depth can leave longing unfulfilled, connection stunted, and intimacy unrealized. Psychologists suggest that emotional availability often reflects early attachment experiences. Secure bonds in childhood encourage openness, trust, and responsiveness, while patterns of neglect or inconsistency can lead to avoidance, fear, or ambivalence in adulthood. Yet, emotional availability is not fixed. It can be nurtured through self-awareness, mindfulness, and intentional practice. Recognizing your own patterns, learning to identify emotions, and communicating honestly are acts of quiet courage that open the door to deeper connection. In love, emotional availability transforms ordinary encounters into profound exchanges. A gaze held without fear, a confession met with understanding, a need expressed and received. These moments are the building blocks of lasting intimacy. It allows partners to meet not only in shared activities or physical presence, but in the quiet, unspoken spaces of the heart. When both parties are available, the relationship becomes a safe haven, a dialogue of trust, and a dance of mutual understanding. Tonight, as you prepare to drift into sleep, reflect gently on your own emotional availability. Notice the ways you open to connection, the ways you hesitate, and the moments when your heart has been truly seen. Allow awareness to settle without judgment, as a soft light illuminating patterns, possibilities, and choices. Emotional availability is a practice, a tender invitation to both give and receive, to meet love in its fullness, and to create space for connection that is gentle, deep, and profoundly sustaining. In this quiet reflection, let your heart soften. Let your breath follow the rhythm of openness, and let sleep carry you into the stillness, where emotional presence is both nurtured and replenished. A gentle promise of connection that exists within and around you. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, Why We Fall for the Wrong Person. The heart is a curious traveler, often drawn toward paths that seem familiar, yet carry shadows of discomfort. Why do we sometimes fall for the wrong person? Someone whose presence both fascinates and unsettles us. Perhaps it is a magnetic pull, woven from longing, past patterns, and the unconscious echoes of old wounds. The mind searches for connection, while the heart is guided by subtle, invisible currents that may not always align with reason. Psychologists suggest that these attractions are often shaped by attachment history. When past relationships left traces of neglect, unpredictability, or longing, the heart may unconsciously seek similar patterns in adulthood. A person who challenges you, who evokes unresolved feelings, or who mirrors old fears, can feel compelling because they tap into these hidden scripts. It is not cruelty or fate. It is the mind and heart navigating familiar territory, even when it is painful. We are also drawn to traits that complement or contrast our own, sometimes in paradoxical ways. The wrong person may embody the qualities we desire but cannot integrate within ourselves. They may awaken dormant desires, hidden vulnerabilities, or unhealed emotions, creating intensity that feels irresistible. This intensity can be intoxicating, a blend of thrill, tension, and longing. But it often obscures clarity, making it hard to see whether the connection nurtures or depletes. Yet even these experiences carry meaning. Falling for someone who challenges, frustrates, or unsettles you becomes a mirror, revealing aspects of yourself that are ripe for growth, understanding, and reflection. Each attraction is a lesson, a subtle invitation to explore patterns, recognize desires, and cultivate awareness. The wrong person is not only a source of fascination, they are a teacher, a guide into the hidden terrain of your heart. Tonight, as sleep approaches, allow yourself to reflect gently on these magnetic pulls. See the patterns, acknowledge the lessons, and feel the subtle wisdom that each attraction imparts. Understand that the heart's choices are rarely simple, yet each encounter, whether fleeting or lasting, contributes to your evolving understanding of love. In the quiet of night, surrender to this awareness, letting it drift softly into your mind, cradling you with insight, compassion, and the gentle reminder that love, even when complicated, is a profound journey of self-discovery. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the psychology of rebound relationships. Rebound relationships are like brief sparks in the dark, intense and fleeting, illuminating old wounds even as they create new ones. They arise in the delicate space after a breakup, when the heart is tender, the mind restless, and the longing for connection insistent. Psychologists describe them as attempts to soothe emotional pain, to reclaim a sense of worth, or to escape the ache of absence. And yet, while they can feel exhilarating, rebound relationships often reflect more about the heart in recovery than about the partner who appears so captivating. The purpose of a rebound is not inherently selfish or cruel. It is, in many ways, a natural coping mechanism. After loss, the mind seeks distraction, reassurance, and a reminder that love is still possible. In this vulnerable state, a new connection can feel intense, urgent, and vital. The heart mistakes novelty for healing, passion for permanence, and presence for understanding. This is the paradox of the rebound. It offers comfort, yet rarely provides the resolution or depth the soul truly needs. Rebounds also mirror unresolved patterns. They often highlight traits we unconsciously seek, echoing previous dynamics, unhealed wounds, or familiar forms of attachment. The excitement may mask the awareness that this connection is temporary, or that it may not align with our deeper needs. In their brief flame, however, rebounds serve a subtle function. They illuminate what the heart is ready to leave behind and what it truly desires in the future. Healing, not avoidance, is the key to transforming this experience. Recognizing the motivations behind a rebound, observing patterns without judgment, and allowing space for reflection are acts of quiet courage. They teach the heart to distinguish longing from necessity, desire from compatibility, and urgency from genuine connection. The rebound becomes a mirror, not a trap, a brief chapter that signals growth, awareness, and preparation for more conscious love. Tonight, as you drift toward sleep, imagine the fleeting sparks of past rebounds as lessons softly dissolving into understanding. Feel the tenderness of your own vulnerability, the quiet courage it took to navigate emotional turbulence, and the gentle wisdom that guides your heart toward clarity. In this calm reflection, you recognize that even transient love holds meaning, and that every connection, however brief, contributes to your evolving capacity to love, to heal, and to open fully to the gentle, enduring rhythms of intimacy. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the cycle of toxic love. Toxic love is a quiet storm, a pattern that entangles hearts in a loop of longing, pain, and fleeting relief. It is not always obvious. At first, the initial spark feels intense, magnetic, and consuming, but beneath the attraction often lies a subtle imbalance: jealousy, manipulation, inconsistency, or unspoken expectations. Psychologists describe it as a repetitive cycle, one that alternates between idealization and disappointment, closeness and distance, hope and despair. The cycle often begins with infatuation, a period where the heart is captivated by charm, intensity, or the illusion of perfection. This is the honeymoon phase, where the mind overlooks flaws and the heart leaps in exhilaration. Soon, cracks appear, moments of conflict, withdrawal, or misunderstanding. The emotional highs and lows become addictive, a rhythm that triggers both dopamine and cortisol, intertwining pleasure and stress. The very turbulence that wounds also entices, making it difficult to step away even when the heart knows it should. Patterns of toxic love are rarely accidental. They often echo unresolved attachment issues, unmet needs, or past relational trauma. You may notice a pull toward intensity over stability, passion over peace, or familiarity over health. The cycle continues as each moment of reconciliation reinforces hope, while each disappointment triggers longing. It becomes a loop, a silent echo in the heart that promises fulfillment yet delivers unrest. Breaking this cycle requires awareness, reflection, and courage. Observing patterns without self-judgment, recognizing red flags, and understanding the psychological forces at play allow the heart to reclaim agency. Toxic love is not merely a story of failure, it is a mirror of the soul's unhealed spaces, a call to nurture self-worth, boundaries, and clarity. Each step away is a quiet act of liberation, a conscious choice to seek connection that is reciprocal, steady, and affirming. Tonight, as sleep settles softly over your mind, imagine the cycle loosening its grip. See the repeated patterns dissolving like mist, leaving behind only insight and gentle understanding. Allow the heart to rest in the recognition that intensity does not equal love, that turbulence does not equal connection, and that your capacity for healthy, nurturing love remains vast. In this tender awareness, your mind softens, your chest eases, and you drift into the quiet sanctuary of sleep, cradled by the gentle promise of balance, clarity, and authentic affection. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, love addiction. When affection becomes compulsive, love can feel intoxicating, a gentle warmth that awakens the senses and stirs the heart. Yet, for some, this warmth transforms into a quiet dependency, a pattern where the pursuit of affection becomes compulsive, repetitive, and consuming. Love addiction is not about the absence of feeling. It is about the presence of craving, a restless hunger for connection that can eclipse self-awareness and inner peace. Psychologists describe love addiction as a cycle of craving, fulfillment, and withdrawal. The heart seeks validation, intimacy, or intensity, and when it is briefly satisfied, a rush of euphoria surges through the body. But as the novelty fades or expectations go unmet, emptiness returns, often amplified by anxiety or longing. This push and pull mirrors the patterns of substance dependency, highlighting the potent neurochemical effects of love on the brain, particularly dopamine and oxytocin. Underlying love addiction are often unmet needs, unresolved trauma, or a fragile sense of self. The compulsive pursuit of connection can mask fear of abandonment, low self-worth, or difficulty tolerating solitude. Partners become mirrors, substitutes, or temporary reliefs for inner discomfort, and the heart is caught in a delicate paradox, seeking love as nourishment while simultaneously feeding dependence. Awareness and self-reflection offer a gentle path toward balance. Recognizing patterns, understanding triggers, and cultivating emotional self-sufficiency can transform compulsive seeking into mindful desire. Healthy love is not about constant highs or relentless reassurance. It is about connection that nourishes, mutual care that uplifts, and intimacy that allows both hearts to grow without erosion. Tonight, as your mind drifts towards sleep, imagine your heart releasing the tension of longing. Visualize affection as a gentle river, flowing freely, rather than constrained by need or urgency. Feel the subtle rhythm of independence intertwined with connection, a balance that allows love to exist without compulsion. In this awareness, the restlessness softens, the chest eases, and the mind quiets, preparing the heart to receive love that is steady, nurturing, and deeply sustaining. Love, in its healthiest form, is not a craving to be satiated, but a gentle presence to be shared. Let this understanding cradle you as you drift into sleep, a quiet assurance that connection and self-respect can coexist, and that the heart is capable of both receiving and resting in the profound calm of authentic affection. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the role of fantasy and idealization in romance. Love often begins not with reality, but with imagination. Before words are exchanged or hands are held, the heart paints a canvas of possibilities, layering hopes, desires, and dreams onto the contours of another person. Fantasy and idealization are the brushstrokes of this early portrait, vivid, intoxicating, and often unbounded by truth. They are a quiet dance between longing and perception, shaping attraction before the body or mind fully comprehends it. Idealization allows the heart to see perfection where flaws exist, to fill gaps with qualities we crave, or to project unspoken desires onto someone else. It is a delicate, paradoxical phenomenon. By imagining the best in another, the mind creates hope, excitement, and intensity, yet it can obscure reality. The person we fall for is both who they are and who we imagine them to be, a fusion of flesh, gesture, and dream. Fantasy also serves a protective purpose. In early attraction, the mind hesitates, cautious of vulnerability and rejection. Idealization allows us to engage safely, to invest emotionally while retaining a buffer between reality and desire. It can be joyful, inspiring, and even transformative, fostering creativity, curiosity, and wonder. Yet when fantasy dominates, it risks disappointment, disillusionment, or repeated cycles of longing unfulfilled. Psychologists note that awareness of idealization can deepen intimacy. Recognizing the difference between projection and reality, between desire and observation, allows love to mature. The heart learns to embrace both the beauty and imperfection of the other, creating space for authentic connection. Idealization, once softened by reflection, can shift from illusion to admiration, from projection to appreciation. Tonight, as your thoughts grow gentle and sleep draws near, imagine the mind's tender creation of love's ideal forms. See the layers of hope, the subtle embellishments, and the quiet longing that colors perception. Allow yourself to notice both the beauty in fantasy and the reality beneath it. Let this awareness rest in your chest, easing expectations, nurturing presence, and softening the mind. Fantasy and idealization are part of love's delicate architecture, a bridge between longing and reality, imagination and intimacy. Let this reflection cradle you into sleep, a gentle reminder that love flourishes not only in dreams, but in the tender acceptance of another's true, imperfect, and profoundly human self. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: why opposites attract and sometimes repel. There is a quiet fascination in difference, a subtle magnetic pull that draws together those whose traits, habits, or temperaments contrast with our own. Opposites attract because the unfamiliar sparks curiosity, awakens new experiences, and illuminates parts of ourselves that lie dormant. The fiery with the calm, the spontaneous with the cautious, the dreamer with the pragmatist. These pairings create tension and harmony, excitement and challenge, a dance that can feel electric and transformative. Yet, attraction alone does not guarantee lasting connection. Differences, when unacknowledged, can become friction, revealing incompatibilities that strain patience and understanding. The very traits that drew you together in fascination can later feel alien, disruptive, or frustrating. The interplay between attraction and friction is a delicate balance, a silent test of empathy, flexibility, and mutual respect. Psychologically, this dynamic is rooted in curiosity and growth. When we encounter qualities that differ from our own, the mind engages in reflection and adaptation. We are invited to stretch our perspectives, temper rigid habits, and expand emotional awareness. In this way, relationships with contrasts can be profoundly enriching, encouraging self-discovery, emotional maturation, and the gentle expansion of love beyond comfort zones. Yet the challenge is real. When differences clash with values, communication breaks down, or emotional needs are unmet, attraction alone is insufficient. Without understanding, compromise, and empathy, opposites may repel as strongly as they initially attracted. Love, in these cases, requires careful navigation, a conscious effort to honor both individuality and connection, to embrace contrast without losing alignment. Tonight, as sleep settles over your mind, reflect on the ways difference has touched your heart. Recall moments when contrast sparked growth, curiosity, or wonder, and notice instances where it challenged patience or understanding. Allow the mind to observe without judgment and feel the subtle rhythm of attraction and tension as a natural pulse of human connection. Opposites, like tides and winds, can carry both adventure and resistance. When embraced with awareness, they become teachers, mirrors, and catalysts for growth. Let this reflection gently ease into your consciousness, a lullaby for understanding, acceptance, and the quiet, intricate beauty of relationships that blend similarity with difference, curiosity with empathy, and attraction with mindful presence. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: red flags we often ignore. In love, the heart often whispers truths that the mind hesitates to hear. Red flags are those subtle, quiet signals, the twinges of discomfort, the patterns of inconsistency, the small betrayals that suggest a mismatch, a risk, or a misalignment. Yet in the intensity of attraction, these warnings can be softened, rationalized, or overlooked. We do this not out of ignorance, but because desire, hope, and longing have a way of coloring perception. Psychologists explain that ignoring red flags is often linked to attachment patterns and emotional needs. When longing for connection is strong, the mind prioritizes closeness over caution, familiarity over clarity, and hope over evidence. We may convince ourselves that behaviors will change, that inconsistencies are temporary, or that love can conquer incompatibility. This tendency is natural, yet it can carry consequences, leading to repeated patterns of disappointment, hurt, or relational strain. Red flags take many forms. They may appear as lack of empathy, dishonesty, possessiveness, or disrespect. Sometimes they are quiet, a refusal to communicate, subtle manipulations, or emotional unavailability. Other times, they are glaring, yet the heart chooses to overlook them, lulled by charm, intensity, or fleeting moments of joy. In ignoring these signals, we trade long-term stability for temporary satisfaction, repeating cycles that teach, in hindsight, the cost of neglecting intuition. Awareness transforms perception. Recognizing red flags does not mean abandoning hope or rejecting love, but it cultivates discernment, the ability to distinguish between patterns that nurture and patterns that harm. It invites reflection, self-respect, and clarity, allowing the heart to engage consciously rather than impulsively. Understanding the subtle messages of discomfort is an act of care toward oneself, a quiet assertion that love is both tender and wise. Tonight, as you drift into sleep, gently reflect on the red flags you may have noticed in past connections. See them not as failures or regrets, but as guides, teachers of awareness and insight. Allow your mind to honor the quiet instincts that sought to protect, to recognize patterns, and to nurture discernment. In this calm reflection, the chest softens, the mind eases, and the heart rests in the gentle knowledge that awareness and caution are not obstacles to love, they are its quiet companions, guiding the journey toward connection that is safe, nurturing, and profoundly sustaining. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, how the brain changes when you're in love. Love is not only a matter of the heart, it is a transformation of the brain. When we fall in love, neural circuits awaken, chemicals surge, and perception subtly shifts. The experience feels ineffable, yet science reveals that the mind itself is reshaped, responding to connection, attachment, and desire with profound biological resonance. Dopamine, the chemical of pleasure and reward, floods the brain, creating feelings of exhilaration and motivation. Every message, glance, or touch releases sparks of joy, reinforcing attention and focus on the beloved. Oxytocin, the hormone of bonding, deepens attachment, fostering trust and closeness. Cortisol may rise in moments of uncertainty or longing, heightening emotional sensitivity and awareness. The result is a mind that oscillates between euphoria and vulnerability, craving presence while remaining acutely attuned to subtle cues. Neuroscience also shows that love activates reward centers associated with anticipation and novelty. The heart races not only because of emotion, but because the brain interprets connection as vital, rewarding, and deeply significant. Attention narrows, priorities shift, and the world outside the object of affection may recede, creating a gentle narrowing of focus where the beloved becomes central to experience. This biological transformation has profound implications for behavior and perception. Thoughts become infused with curiosity, imagination, and reflection. Emotions are heightened, empathy is deepened, and motivation often aligns with the needs, desires, and well-being of the partner. The brain, in essence, rewires itself to accommodate the presence, absence, and nuances of another human being. Tonight, as you relax into the quiet of sleep, imagine the subtle symphony of chemicals and circuits within you, shaping perception, emotion, and desire. Feel the gentle alchemy of connection, where mind and heart entwine in patterns of attention, anticipation, and attachment. Allow this awareness to soften the chest, calm the mind, and lull you into the profound stillness of rest. Knowing that love, at its deepest, is both a biological wonder and a tender, transformative journey. The brain changes when you fall in love, yet sleep allows it to integrate, to rest, and to process these shifts with grace. Let this understanding cradle you, a gentle reminder that love is as much a quiet evolution within as it is a connection without, carrying both mystery and insight into the depths of human experience. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the psychology of jealousy and envy. Jealousy is a shadow of love, a quiet tremor that flickers in the spaces between affection and fear. It is not inherently malicious, it is a signal, a reflection of attachment, insecurity, and desire. When the heart perceives threat to connection or status, a subtle surge of anxiety and attention emerges. The mind fixates, emotions intensify, and the body registers tension, creating a complex, often uncomfortable, dance of feeling that can illuminate both longing and vulnerability. Envy, though related, moves in a different dimension. It arises when we perceive someone else possessing qualities, attention, or circumstances we desire. Unlike jealousy, which focuses on potential loss, envy reflects yearning and comparison. Both emotions are deeply human, quietly whispering about unmet needs, desires, or fears. They are signals, not judgments, calling attention to what the heart values most. Psychologists note that jealousy and envy often stem from early attachment patterns, self-esteem, and perceived scarcity in love. When trust is fragile or self-worth is uncertain, the mind interprets ambiguity as threat. In healthy awareness, these emotions serve as guides, inviting reflection, communication, and emotional regulation. Left unchecked, however, they can intensify conflict, distort perception, and erode intimacy. Love, when tempered with mindfulness, transforms jealousy and envy into opportunities for growth. Observing feelings without acting impulsively, naming insecurities, and communicating openly allow hearts to navigate these turbulent waters with grace. The shadow becomes a mirror, revealing inner landscapes and desires that may otherwise remain hidden. Tonight, as your body softens into rest, reflect on moments when jealousy or envy touched your heart. Notice the subtle sensations, the thoughts that arose, and the lessons quietly embedded within. Allow the mind to release judgment, embracing awareness as a gentle tool for understanding rather than a weapon of regret. In this calm reflection, the chest eases, the mind softens, and the heart finds equilibrium between desire, attachment, and trust. Jealousy and envy, like shadows at dusk, are part of the tapestry of love. They can signal, guide, and illuminate if held with care and consciousness. Let this understanding drift with you into sleep, a tender recognition that even turbulent emotions carry insight, nurturing wisdom, growth, and a deeper capacity for compassion in the heart. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: how love affects decision-making. Love is a lens through which the world subtly transforms. When the heart is engaged, choices are rarely purely rational. Emotions weave through cognition, coloring perception, prioritizing intimacy, and shaping judgments. The presence of affection, desire, or attachment can amplify optimism, soften caution, and even bias our evaluation of risk and reward. In this way, love quietly rewrites the architecture of decision-making. Neurologically, love engages reward centers in the brain, where dopamine and oxytocin interplay with thought. These chemicals enhance motivation, focus attention on the beloved, and create heightened sensitivity to cues of connection or disconnection. Decisions are influenced not only by logic, but by anticipated pleasure, fear of loss, and subtle readings of emotional resonance. Love becomes a force that guides the heart and mind in tandem, sometimes with clarity, sometimes with illusion. The influence of love extends to everyday choices: where to go, how to spend time, whom to trust, or how to negotiate conflict. Each decision is tinged with the desire to nurture connection, preserve harmony, or maintain attachment. Even risk-taking can increase as the heart seeks closeness or tests boundaries, revealing the profound interplay between emotion and cognition. Yet love does not merely cloud judgment, it also heightens empathy, moral consideration, and cooperative behavior. The heart's engagement can sharpen awareness of another's needs, fostering decisions that prioritize care, fairness, and shared well-being. In this sense, love transforms both perception and action, guiding choices with both vulnerability and wisdom. Tonight, as sleep draws near, imagine the gentle ways love has influenced your own decisions. Reflect on moments when desire shaped your steps, when care guided your choices, and when the heart's intuition harmonized with reason. Allow the mind to rest in awareness, softening the tension between impulse and deliberation, and recognizing the subtle rhythm by which love shapes thought, action, and intention. Love affects decision-making, not as a force of chaos, but as a tender current that runs beneath conscious awareness. Let this understanding cradle you into sleep, a gentle recognition that the heart's influence is both profound and illuminating, guiding growth, connection, and insight in the quiet, reflective spaces of life. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: cognitive biases that influence romantic choices. The heart is a subtle architect, yet the mind often follows invisible scripts, shaped by patterns, experiences, and unconscious tendencies. Cognitive biases are these quiet currents, guiding perception, interpretation, and decision-making in love without our explicit awareness. They are neither faults nor flaws. They are human shortcuts, heuristics that simplify complexity, sometimes illuminating truth, sometimes distorting it. One common bias is the halo effect, where attraction magnifies perceived qualities. A charming smile, a compelling presence, or a shared interest can cast a glow over character, masking flaws and shaping the perception of compatibility. Another is confirmation bias, the tendency to notice behaviors that affirm expectations while overlooking those that contradict them. In love, this can mean seeing what we hope to see, rather than what truly exists. Projection is another subtle influence. We often unconsciously assign our own desires, fears, or ideals onto another person, mistaking them for reality. Similarly, the scarcity effect can heighten attachment, creating urgency, obsession, or an inflated sense of value, simply because connection feels rare or fleeting. All of these biases are natural, emerging from the brain's efforts to simplify complexity and navigate the intricate landscape of human emotion. Understanding these biases does not diminish love, it deepens awareness. By observing how the mind colors perception, the heart can cultivate discernment, empathy, and reflection. Attraction may remain vivid, yet awareness allows us to distinguish between idealization and reality, desire and compatibility, hope and projection. Love becomes not only felt, but understood. Tonight, as your body softens into rest, reflect on the ways your own mind has shaped romantic choices. See the patterns, notice the tendencies, and gently acknowledge the moments when perception may have diverged from reality. Let this awareness be tender, not critical, a quiet guide that illuminates without diminishing the beauty of experience. Cognitive biases influence love like gentle currents beneath a river's surface, shaping direction, flow, and depth. Let this insight settle softly into your mind as sleep approaches, a reminder that understanding the subtle workings of the heart and mind allows love to unfold with clarity, wisdom, and quiet, reflective grace. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: the role of memory in nostalgic love. Memory is a quiet architect of the heart, stitching together moments, sensations, and emotions into a tapestry that often shapes how we love. Nostalgic love, the longing for past connections or experiences, is born in these folds of memory. It is a delicate interplay of recollection and emotion, where the mind magnifies the warmth, softens the pain, and drapes familiar bonds in golden light. Psychologists note that nostalgia enhances emotional attachment, even when the relationship has ended or changed. Remembered moments, shared laughter, whispered secrets, or tender gestures become more vivid with time, often idealized and imbued with meaning that surpasses reality. Memory does not merely recall, it transforms, reshaping the past into a comforting narrative that supports identity, belonging, and longing. Nostalgic love can soothe the present, reminding us of joy, intimacy, and connection. Yet it also carries a subtle paradox. The heart may yearn for what no longer exists, sometimes obscuring the present or creating tension with current relationships. Idealization, selective recollection, and emotional amplification can make the past feel more alive than the now, inviting both comfort and reflection. This phenomenon teaches the mind and heart how deeply humans are shaped by experience. Memory preserves not only love itself, but the lessons, growth, and tenderness it inspires. Nostalgia reminds us that even fleeting or lost connections leave indelible traces, shaping desires, patterns, and understanding in ways that extend far beyond the original moments. Tonight, as your thoughts slow and sleep draws near, allow your mind to wander through these gentle corridors of memory. Recall moments of tenderness, laughter, and closeness, observing both the sweetness and the subtle ache they carry. Let nostalgia be a soft, comforting presence, a bridge between past and present, illuminating the depth of your capacity to feel, to connect, and to treasure what was and is. Memory, in nostalgic love, is not merely a reflection. It is an active companion, a quiet teacher, and a tender lens through which the heart understands its journey. Let this awareness cradle you into sleep, a soft embrace of remembrance, insight, and the enduring magic of connection that continues to shape the quiet landscape of your inner world. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. Why breakups hurt so much psychologically. Breakups ripple through the mind and heart like an unexpected storm. The loss of connection, the absence of presence, and the sudden void of intimacy create a profound ache that is felt both emotionally and physically. Psychologists explain that heartbreak engages the same neural pathways as physical pain, making the loss of love not just metaphorical, but biologically real. The heart's rhythm may not falter, but the body and brain register absence, rejection, and longing with remarkable intensity. Attachment patterns amplify this experience. When bonds are strong, the brain has intertwined emotions, expectations, and identity with the partner. Separation is a disruption not only of companionship, but of the familiar patterns that structure daily life, emotional regulation, and self-perception. Dopamine and oxytocin, once abundant in the presence of love, dip sharply, leaving a tender emptiness that mirrors withdrawal. The mind craves connection, yet must navigate absence, creating waves of longing, sadness, and sometimes confusion. The intensity of heartbreak also arises from anticipation, the imagined future that will no longer unfold. Plans, shared dreams, and unspoken promises are suddenly inaccessible, leaving the heart adrift. Memory may replay moments of warmth, deepening both nostalgia and longing. Guilt, regret, or self-blame can emerge, layered upon the grief of loss, compounding the psychological impact. Yet heartbreak, in its depth, carries profound potential for growth. The pain signals the magnitude of attachment, the depth of investment, and the courage it takes to love. Through reflection, self-compassion, and time, the mind can integrate the experience, recalibrating expectations, understanding patterns, and nurturing resilience. Emotional processing allows the heart to emerge wiser, more attuned, and prepared for future connection. Tonight, as you settle into sleep, let the intensity of past breakups soften. Acknowledge the ache without resistance. Breathe into the emptiness, and feel the gentle release of attachment. Recognize that pain, while acute, is temporary and transformative. In the quiet darkness, the heart can rest, the mind can heal, and the soul can learn that loss, however profound, is part of the tender rhythm of love and life. Breakups hurt because love is real, attachment is deep, and the human heart is exquisitely sensitive. Let this awareness cradle you into rest. A reminder that even in absence, the heart retains the wisdom of connection, the capacity for growth, and the gentle promise of new beginnings. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the stages of heartbreak explained. Heartbreak unfolds in gentle, often unpredictable stages, each a reflection of the mind's attempt to process loss, attachment, and change. The first stage is shock or denial, where the mind struggles to accept the absence. The world may feel muted, time slowed, and emotions suspended, as if reality has temporarily paused to accommodate the heart's confusion. In this quiet suspension, the mind seeks stability while the heart grapples with the sudden void. Next comes pain and yearning. The emptiness left by loss presses against the chest. Waves of longing ripple through memory, and even familiar places feel altered. This stage is raw, tender, and deeply human. Thoughts may replay moments, imagining alternative outcomes, rehearsing conversations, or lingering on gestures once cherished. Emotional intensity can feel overwhelming, yet it is the heart's way of honoring attachment and beginning to release. Anger often follows, directed outward, inward, or at circumstances. It is not merely frustration, it is energy-seeking expression. a signal that boundaries were crossed, needs unmet, or expectations disrupted. Anger, when acknowledged gently, can be a bridge between hurt and understanding, a channel through which grief transforms into insight. Depression or sadness may deepen next, a quiet introspection where the heart recognizes the magnitude of what has been lost. This stage allows reflection, memory integration, and emotional processing. It is often the most difficult, yet it lays the groundwork for acceptance, resilience, and eventual restoration. Finally comes acceptance. The mind softens, the heart adjusts, and the rhythm of life returns with subtle calm. Memories remain, tender and instructive, yet the acute ache diminishes. Acceptance does not erase love. It honors it, transforming intensity into wisdom, longing into gentle remembrance, and loss into quiet growth. Tonight, as sleep draws near, let your mind journey through these stages not as obstacles, but as natural rhythms of healing. Allow the tenderness of each stage to wash over you, honoring both grief and growth. Feel the heart softening, the breath deepening, and the mind resting in the quiet understanding that heartbreak, like all profound experiences, unfolds with purpose, compassion, and a promise of renewal. The stages of heartbreak are not a linear path, but a dance of the human heart, guiding awareness, fostering growth, and leading gently toward peace. Let this reflection cradle you into sleep, a tender embrace of both grief and the quiet resilience that emerges from love's depths. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: how we cope with unrequited love. Unrequited love is a silent ache, a yearning that flows in one direction, tender and unreciprocated. The heart invests in presence, hope, and imagination, yet the mirror of affection does not reflect in equal measure. Psychologists note that this type of love engages both longing and creativity, compelling the mind to interpret, idealize, and sometimes romanticize the object of desire. It is an experience both painful and instructive, a delicate exploration of vulnerability, resilience, and self-awareness. Coping with unrequited love begins with acknowledgement. To recognize the intensity of feeling without judgment is the first step toward emotional freedom. Denial may prolong suffering, but conscious awareness allows the heart to observe its own longing, noting patterns, desires, and unmet needs. Acceptance does not diminish the beauty of affection. It simply aligns expectation with reality, freeing energy from frustration and allowing reflection. Many find solace in self-expression. Journaling, creative outlets, or gentle conversation can channel emotion without entangling the heart in futility. Cultivating connection with supportive friends and engaging in personal passions help redirect focus, restoring equilibrium between desire and well-being. Mindful reflection, deep breathing, and visualization techniques provide inner sanctuary, a place where the heart can feel without being overwhelmed. Unrequited love also offers insight. It reveals the depth of longing, the patterns of attachment, and the qualities we truly value in connection. By observing without clinging, we learn the art of emotional self-sufficiency, finding fulfillment within while appreciating affection outside. The heart, though tender, becomes resilient, attuned to boundaries, and wiser in discerning the subtleties of attraction and reciprocity. Tonight, as you drift toward sleep, allow the unreciprocated desire to soften into gentle awareness. Feel the pulse of longing, the tenderness it carries, and the quiet wisdom it imparts. Imagine your heart resting, unburdened by expectation, yet open to future connections that honor mutual affection, respect, and presence. Unrequited love, though often bittersweet, is a quiet teacher. It reveals the landscapes of desire, vulnerability, and self-discovery. Let this understanding cradle you into rest, a soft embrace of reflection, compassion, and the gentle reminder that the heart's capacity to love remains vast, even when love is not returned in equal measure. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: rebuilding self-esteem. After a breakup leaves more than absence. It leaves echoes, questions, and the quiet vulnerability of self-perception. Often, the heart equates separation with failure, the mind internalizes loss, and self-esteem can waver like a candle in the wind. Yet this tender moment, as painful as it feels, is also an invitation, an opportunity to reconnect with inner strength, self-worth, and the gentle wisdom of your own being. Rebuilding self-esteem begins with compassion. Acknowledge the hurt without judgment, recognizing that love's ending does not diminish your value. Each emotion you feel, sadness, anger, or longing, is valid, a testament to your capacity to love deeply. By honoring your experience, you plant seeds of self-respect that will grow quietly into resilience and confidence. Reflection and introspection provide guidance. Consider patterns without blame, observe choices without criticism, and identify lessons without regret. What did you learn about your needs, boundaries, and desires? How did the relationship illuminate your strengths or vulnerabilities? These inquiries are gentle mirrors, helping you understand yourself more fully and rebuild esteem grounded in insight rather than external validation. Engaging in acts of care also nurtures the self. Physical movement, creative expression, time in nature, or connecting with supportive people restore balance and remind the heart of its worth, independent of others. Every moment dedicated to self-nurturing becomes a brick in the foundation of renewed confidence and stability. Tonight, as sleep approaches, envision self-esteem as a quiet flame within your chest, flickering gently, ready to grow stronger with each act of care, reflection, and compassion. Let the ache of separation soften as the mind acknowledges your intrinsic value, the resilience that resides in your spirit, and the quiet courage that accompanies vulnerability. Breakups, while disorienting, also offer clarity. They reveal not only what is lost, but what remains steadfast within you. As your thoughts drift into rest, allow self-esteem to reclaim its rightful place, a soft, luminous presence that cradles the heart, nurtures growth, and prepares the soul to love again with wisdom, presence, and unshakable respect for its own worth. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the psychology behind closure. Closure is often imagined as a final conversation, a definitive explanation, or a clear resolution. Yet psychologically, it is less about external events and more about internal understanding. The heart seeks patterns, meaning, and a sense of completion. When a relationship ends, unanswered questions or lingering emotions can create a subtle tension, a feeling that the story remains unfinished. Closure is the mind and heart finding equilibrium, even when circumstances offer no tidy ending. Humans are natural storytellers. We crave coherence, narrative, and a sense of cause and effect. When love ends abruptly, the brain struggles to integrate the experience. Emotional ambiguity triggers rumination, longing, or repeated mental rehearsals. The need for closure is not selfish. It is a fundamental attempt to reconcile attachment, memory, and identity. Psychologists suggest that closure is ultimately a cognitive emotional process, internal rather than external. Self-reflection is central to achieving closure. By observing the relationship, the dynamics, and your own role without harsh judgment, the heart begins to weave understanding. Accepting imperfection, embracing vulnerability, and acknowledging lessons learned allow the mind to release lingering tension. Closure emerges not from certainty about the other person, but from clarity within yourself. Rituals can gently support this process. Writing letters never sent, expressing emotion through art or journaling, or quietly acknowledging feelings in meditation are all methods that help integrate experience. These acts honor both love and loss, allowing the heart to rest while learning to carry memory without pain. Tonight, as sleep descends, imagine the gentle unfolding of closure within. See the threads of memory, emotion, and reflection weaving together into a tapestry that no longer tugs at the heart with unfinished tension. Allow understanding to settle softly, a tender recognition that endings are natural, that growth follows attachment, and that the mind and heart are capable of making peace with what has passed. Closure is not an event, it is a state, a quiet harmony that allows the heart to continue its journey unburdened. Let this awareness cradle you into rest, a soft, reflective embrace that affirms healing, wisdom, and the tender continuity of love and life. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, how love evolves over time. Love is not a fixed point. It is a river, flowing, deepening, and transforming as time unfolds. The early spark, with its intensity and novelty, gradually gives way to layers of understanding, trust, and intimacy. Each stage carries its own rhythm, challenges, and beauty, shaping the heart, mind, and connection in ways both subtle and profound. Initially, love is often driven by chemistry and passion, a combination of curiosity, desire, and attachment. The mind is captivated, the body energized, and the heart alight with anticipation. Yet, as months and years pass, the raw intensity softens, creating space for steadiness, mutual care, and emotional depth. The relationship becomes less about exhilaration alone and more about shared experiences, resilience, and the quiet rhythms of companionship. Psychologists describe this evolution as a shift from passionate love to companionate love. The initial neurochemical surge, dopamine and oxytocin, remains present, but attachment, trust, and empathy gain prominence. Partners learn each other's rhythms, strengths, and vulnerabilities. Challenges arise as differences become clearer and life's demands press upon connection. Yet the deepening of love allows for understanding, compromise, and growth. Evolution in love is also a reflection of personal development. As each individual matures, priorities, communication, and emotional intelligence transform. Long-term love thrives when both hearts adapt, nurturing connection while honoring individuality. Novelty and routine coexist. Curiosity balances comfort, and passion coexists with steady affection. This dynamic interplay sustains love beyond mere infatuation. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, imagine love as a living, breathing entity. See its early sparks, its quiet, steady glow, and its subtle evolution through shared days, challenges, and tenderness. Allow your mind to rest in the understanding that love is not static, that growth and transformation are natural, and that the heart is capable of both excitement and deep, enduring connection. Love evolves over time, shaping both who we are and how we relate to another. Let this reflection cradle you into sleep, a tender recognition of love's ongoing journey, a rhythm of passion, understanding, and quiet, profound companionship that nourishes the soul through every phase of life. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, Secrets of Lasting Romantic Relationships. Lasting love is a quiet art, a rhythm woven from presence, understanding, and care. It is not sustained by fireworks alone, but by the gentle constancy of attention, empathy, and shared growth. Those who nurture enduring connection understand that love is both a feeling and a practice, a dance of two hearts moving in harmony while honoring individuality. Communication is the foundation. Honest expression, active listening, and gentle honesty allow misunderstandings to dissolve before they harden into resentment. Partners learn not only to speak, but to hear the subtle inflections, unspoken fears, and tender hopes that color every interaction. Listening becomes a form of devotion, a quiet affirmation that each voice matters, each feeling is recognized, and each heart is valued. Mutual respect and trust are the silent pillars. Boundaries are honored, differences accepted, and mistakes met with understanding rather than blame. Trust is built in small moments, keeping promises, showing consistency, and demonstrating care. Respect allows love to flourish without constriction, fostering an environment where both individuals feel safe, seen, and supported. Flexibility and adaptability are equally vital. Life changes, circumstances shift, and challenges arise. Couples who endure learn to navigate the ebb and flow of emotions, responsibilities, and desires. Patience, forgiveness, and humor act as balm for friction, creating space for intimacy to deepen even amidst difficulty. Finally, shared joy and gratitude illuminate the path. Celebrating small victories, expressing appreciation, and embracing the wonder of everyday connection keeps the heart attuned to delight. Love endures not through perfection, but through acknowledgement, care, and the conscious choice to cultivate connection each day. Tonight, As sleep approaches, imagine the quiet architecture of lasting love. Visualize two hearts moving in tandem, attentive, patient, and nurturing. Feel the rhythm of communication, respect, trust, and gratitude intertwining, creating a tapestry of connection that sustains through time, challenge, and change. Secrets of lasting love are simple, yet profound. Presence, empathy, trust, flexibility, and appreciation. Let this understanding cradle you into rest. A tender reflection on the gentle, enduring forces that keep hearts intertwined, teaching the quiet wisdom of connection, patience, and profound intimacy. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. The role of routine and novelty in sustaining love. Love is a delicate balance between comfort and surprise, between the familiar rhythms that ground us and the sparks of novelty that awaken wonder. Routine creates stability, shared meals, evening walks, familiar gestures that nourishes trust, security, and emotional connection. It is the steady heartbeat of daily life, a quiet reassurance that love persists in small, consistent acts. Yet too much routine can dull the senses, allowing predictability to breed monotony. Novelty, in its many forms, invigorates relationships. New experiences, playful adventures, spontaneous gestures, or unexpected conversations. Novelty rekindles curiosity, evokes excitement, and reminds the heart that love is not stagnant, but alive and evolving. It invites both partners to see each other anew, to explore facets of personality, and to experience growth together. Psychologists observe that successful long-term relationships weave routine and novelty in complementary ways. Stability provides safety, while surprise stimulates reward circuits in the brain, keeping attention, desire, and engagement alive. Couples who skillfully balance these elements often experience deeper satisfaction, resilience through challenges, and enduring emotional intimacy. Flexibility is key. Routine need not be rigid, nor novelty forced. Even small deviations, trying a new recipe, taking a different route, sharing a forgotten story, can infuse life with fresh energy. These moments remind the heart that love is both consistent and expansive, rooted in familiarity, yet open to discovery. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, imagine the gentle pulse of routine, the quiet habits that offer comfort and reassurance. Now feel the spark of novelty, small surprises, laughter, curiosity that awakens the heart. Together, they create a rhythm, a dance of love that sustains, nurtures, and inspires. The interplay of routine and novelty is a tender secret of lasting connection. Let this reflection ease your mind, a gentle reminder that love thrives not only in constancy but in the quiet thrill of discovery. The subtle blending of stability and excitement, and the mindful attention that keeps two hearts attuned across time. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. Love and attachment in parenthood. Parenthood transforms love into a new dimension, blending intimacy with responsibility, tenderness with vigilance, and affection with deep, enduring attachment. The bonds formed with a child are different yet parallel to romantic love, profound, complex, and interwoven with both instinct and conscious care. In these connections, the heart expands, learning patience, empathy, and selflessness on a scale rarely encountered elsewhere. Attachment in parenthood is both biological and psychological. Oxytocin, the hormone of bonding, strengthens emotional ties, creating profound feelings of closeness, care, and protectiveness. The mind becomes acutely attuned to the child's needs, expressions, and rhythms. Every glance, gesture, and cry carries meaning, shaping attention, emotional responsiveness, and the delicate balance between nurturing and guidance. Yet love in parenthood is not without its challenges. Fatigue, worry, and the demands of care can test patience and emotional reserves. Moments of frustration may surface, yet they coexist with immense tenderness and joy. The conscious act of responding with presence, empathy, and care strengthens attachment, teaching both parent and child the rhythms of trust, emotional regulation, and secure connection. Psychologists highlight that healthy attachment fosters emotional resilience, social competence, and long-term relational stability. Children learn not only from explicit guidance, but from the subtle language of consistent care, sensitivity, and emotional attunement. Parents, in turn, often experience growth, empathy, and a heightened sense of purpose and identity, as love transforms into both responsibility and profound fulfillment. Tonight, as your mind softens into rest, imagine the quiet, enduring rhythm of parental love. Feel the tenderness of protection, the warmth of connection, and the gentle, sustaining energy that flows between parent and child. Let your heart embrace both the joys and challenges, recognizing the profound learning, growth, and intimacy inherent in this sacred bond. Love and attachment in parenthood are an intricate dance, steady, adaptive, and deeply transformative. Let this reflection cradle you into sleep, a soft awareness of the vast capacities of the human heart, and the quiet, enduring beauty of bonds that shape lives, nurture growth, and illuminate the tender complexity of love. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: why gratitude strengthens love. Gratitude is a subtle alchemy, turning attention into appreciation and presence into connection. In relationships, it is more than a polite acknowledgement. It is a gentle recognition of the effort, care, and existence of the other. When hearts express gratitude, they shift from taking love for granted to noticing its quiet manifestations, deepening both intimacy and satisfaction. Psychologists have observed that gratitude activates reward centers in the brain, enhancing positive emotion and reinforcing the bonds of attachment. Recognizing small acts of kindness, understanding, or support strengthens trust, promotes empathy, and fosters a cycle of reciprocal care. The simple acknowledgement of being seen, valued, or loved nourishes both giver and receiver, creating a resonance that deepens connection. Gratitude also cultivates perspective. It invites us to notice not only the extraordinary moments, but the ordinary, often overlooked expressions of love, shared laughter, patience, daily gestures, and quiet presence. By bringing these into focus, the heart recognizes that love is sustained in the accumulation of small, meaningful actions, not only in grand declarations or dramatic gestures. Regularly expressing gratitude fosters resilience during conflict or challenge. When tension arises, remembering and acknowledging positive contributions helps soften judgment, ease defensiveness, and restore emotional balance. Gratitude reminds the heart of shared history, mutual care, and the underlying intention to nurture the connection, even amidst difficulty. Tonight, as you prepare to drift into sleep, feel the subtle warmth of gratitude flowing through your heart. Reflect on moments when love was given or received, words, gestures, presence, and allow appreciation to settle gently within. Let your mind rest in the quiet understanding that noticing, valuing, and expressing gratitude is a tender, sustaining force, a balm for the heart, and a gentle enhancer of love's depth. Gratitude strengthens love because it transforms attention into care, perception into connection, and acknowledgement into shared resonance. Let this reflection cradle you into rest, a soft, contemplative embrace that honors both the giving and receiving of love, illuminating the profound simplicity and enduring power of appreciation in nurturing the human heart. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: the psychology of self-love. Self-love is often misunderstood as indulgence or vanity, yet at its core, it is recognition, acceptance, and care for oneself. It is the gentle acknowledgement that you are worthy of attention, respect, and tenderness, independent of external validation. The psychology of self-love reveals that the foundation of healthy relationships both with others and oneself begins here, in the quiet sanctuary of inner compassion. Neuroscience shows that nurturing self-worth activates reward pathways, promoting emotional stability, resilience, and well-being. When the heart values itself, it becomes less reactive to rejection, less dependent on approval, and more attuned to authentic connection. Self-love is not static. It requires reflection, patience, and consistent practice, much like cultivating a delicate garden within. Psychologists identify key components of self-love: self-awareness, self-compassion, and self-respect. Self-awareness allows you to observe thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without harsh judgment. Self-compassion invites gentleness toward mistakes, limitations, and vulnerabilities. Self-respect sets boundaries that honor your needs and values. Together, these qualities create a framework for emotional resilience, enabling the heart to engage in love without fear, codependence, or erosion of identity. Self-love also enhances empathy. When you recognize and care for your own needs, it becomes easier to perceive, understand, and honor the feelings of others. The heart expands not through self-neglect, but through the equilibrium of care for self and for connection. It is a quiet wisdom that reminds the mind, to give love freely, one must first know one's own worth. Tonight, as your body softens and sleep approaches, allow awareness of self-love to settle gently within. Reflect on moments when you cared for yourself, honored your boundaries, or forgave your imperfections. Let the heart rest in the knowledge that self-love is not separate from love for others. It is the root from which all lasting, authentic connection grows. The psychology of self-love is a tender invitation to nurture, honor, and embrace yourself fully. Let this understanding cradle you into rest, a soothing, reflective embrace that strengthens the heart, calms the mind, and prepares the soul for deeper, more balanced experiences of love, both within and beyond. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: how personal boundaries impact romantic relationships. Boundaries are the quiet lines that define where you end and another begins. In romantic relationships, they are not walls, but gentle markers of self-respect, clarity, and emotional safety. Healthy boundaries allow love to flourish, creating space for intimacy without loss of identity, connection without suffocation, and care without codependence. Psychologists emphasize that boundaries are fundamental to relational health. They guide communication, manage expectations, and prevent resentment from accumulating. When both partners understand and respect boundaries, trust deepens, conflicts are navigated with empathy, and the relationship becomes a space where each person can grow authentically. Boundaries are multidimensional. Emotional boundaries help the heart maintain clarity, separating your feelings from those of your partner. Physical boundaries honor comfort, space, and personal needs. Time and energy boundaries safeguard priorities, allowing love to coexist with personal growth, work, and self-care. Setting boundaries is not rejection, it is an act of honesty and care that protects the heart while fostering connection. The impact of boundaries extends beyond prevention of harm. They actively enhance intimacy. When each partner feels safe, seen, and respected, trust deepens. Vulnerability becomes possible, and affection thrives. Boundaries are a language of self-awareness, a framework through which love can exist with freedom, safety, and reciprocity. Tonight, as your mind drifts toward sleep, imagine boundaries as soft, luminous threads weaving between two hearts. See them not as barriers, but as gentle guides, holding space for honesty, care, and mutual respect. Feel the balance of closeness and individuality, understanding that love is strongest when it honors both connection and the integrity of self. Personal boundaries shape romantic relationships like the quiet scaffolding of a structure. Invisible, yet vital, supporting growth, intimacy, and resilience. Let this reflection cradle you into rest. A tender awareness that love thrives not only in passion and affection, but in respect, clarity, and the graceful preservation of personal integrity. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: the link between emotional intelligence and love. Emotional intelligence is the quiet compass of the heart, guiding how we perceive, understand, and respond to emotions, both our own and those of others. In love, it becomes the foundation for connection, empathy, and resilience. It is not measured in grand gestures, but in the subtle awareness of feelings, the gentle calibration of responses, and the capacity to navigate the delicate landscapes of intimacy with insight and care. At its core, emotional intelligence in love involves self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Self-awareness allows the heart to recognize its own patterns, desires, and vulnerabilities. Self-regulation nurtures patience, prevents impulsive reactions, and fosters thoughtful communication. Motivation sustains effort and care, even when love feels challenging. Empathy bridges understanding, attuning the mind to the nuances of another's experience. Social skills translate insight into connection, building trust, intimacy, and shared meaning. Psychologists note that emotionally intelligent partners navigate conflict with grace, communicate needs without hostility, and respond to challenges with compassion rather than defensiveness. They recognize that love is not merely a feeling but a dynamic interplay of understanding, adaptation, and shared growth. Emotional intelligence does not eliminate pain or difficulty. It illuminates a path through it with awareness and care. This awareness transforms not only romantic relationships, but also the inner experience of love. When the heart understands its own emotions and those of its partner, attachment deepens, trust strengthens, and affection becomes more resilient. Emotional intelligence allows love to thrive even amidst imperfections, misunderstandings, and life's inevitable uncertainties. Tonight, as sleep draws near, let the gentle currents of emotional intelligence flow through your mind. Feel awareness settling in your heart, guiding reflection, compassion, and understanding. Imagine navigating connection with clarity, patience, and tenderness, where each emotion is a signal, each response a choice, and each act of care a reflection of insight and love. The link between emotional intelligence and love is profound. It transforms feelings into understanding, challenges into growth, and attachment into enduring connection. Let this reflection cradle you into rest, a soft embrace of insight, compassion, and the quiet mastery of the heart, preparing your spirit to experience love deeply, wisely, and tenderly, night after night.